I'm General R.P. Buckland, past mayor of Lower Sandusky and leader of the Ohio 72nd at Shiloh and Vicksburg, and I'm asking you to partner with us as we bring a traveling museum and multiple events throughout the year to Sandusky County to learn about our history and our communities for our bicentennial.
In 2020, Sandusky County will turn 200 years old, and with our rich history and heritage, a bicentennial committee is currently planning events and celebrations to recognize this historic milestone. Let's take a moment to step back in time to our county's past and see how it all began. During the 1750s, the French constructed a trading post to participate in the fur trade with the Wyandot Indians. During the late 1700s and the early 1800s, colonial settlers moved into the area. Shortly after the colonial migration to this area, the great state of Ohio was partitioned from the Northwest Territory and was admitted to the Union as the 17th state on March 1, 1803. 17 years later, the Ohio government authorized the creation of Sandusky County, and on April 1, 1820, Sandusky County was officially established. Early residents named the county after an Indian term, Sandusti, for at the cold water. Settlement of the county occurred very slowly at first due to the Great Black Swamp occupying most of the land in the western part of the county, but eventually settlement exploded with the establishment of the Western Reserve and Maumee Turnpike, which was also known as the Old Mud Pike, a toll road which connected Perrysburg and Lower Sandusky, which eventually will become Fremont. This early road was instrumental in helping our young county grow and led to the establishment of Woodville, one of the small towns that formed between these two locations.
The area was first settled by the Native Americans and then the fur traders, and then the establishment of Fort Stephenson, and then came the early pioneer life as our history was cut out of the wilderness.
I'm Larry Michaels, local historian. We're seated here today on the grounds of the Burchard Public Library, which was formerly the site of Fort Stephenson, and the War of 1812 battle was fought right on this spot. And talking about the early names of Fremont, a few years after the battle, the east side of the Sandusky River was platted out as Crogansville, and the west side was platted out as, in the year following, in 1817, as Sandusky. And the two sides battled to receive the county seat, and the courthouse was decided to be placed on the west side of the river in 1822. And then the two towns coexisted for a few more years until 1829, when they combined to be called Lower Sandusky. And that remained the name of the whole town here for 20 years until 1849, when the town was officially named Fremont.
During the War of 1812, the United States Army built an important American military post known as Fort Stephenson in an area named Sandusky, and Major George Croghan defeated the advancing British and Indian forces during a historic battle that was a turning point for the Americans in the War of 1812. On the east side of the Sandusky River, a town was forming known as Crogansville, and eventually the Sandusky and the Crogansville combined and the name was changed to Lower Sandusky. In 1849, the name was changed to Fremont in honor of John C. Fremont, an American explorer, politician, and soldier, who in 1856 became the first candidate of the Republican Party for the office of President of the United States. In 1873, future President Rutherford B. Hayes moved into a family home in Fremont called Spiegel Grove. The home is now part of the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Library and Museums and was the first presidential library in the United States. Early records and legends show Clyde, Ohio once went by a different name and was once known as Hammer's Corner in recognition of a section of land settled and developed by William Hammer in the late 1820s. Many made their home in what had now become Clyde, including General James B. McPherson, a well-known Civil War general. The Green Springs area was originally inhabited by the Seneca Indians, but in 1830, the Seneca were forced to move to reservations in the west because of a policy of Indian removal developed by the administration of Andrew Jackson. In 1831, Jacob Stem, the founder of Green Springs, bought the land from the government. He purchased about 1,200 acres within Sandusky and Seneca counties, including the Sulphur Spring. The village was originally called Stemtown, named after the founder. It was later called Green Springs, named from the color of the water from the spring. Bellevue spans across 4 counties, including Sandusky County, and was founded in 1815 by a small group of settlers from Genesee County, New York, headed by Mark Hopkins. They settled on what is now Main Street, and the new community was called Amsden Corners. The first store was opened in 1823 by the same Thomas Amsden for whom the town was named. One of the towns to establish in Sandusky County was the town of Gibsonburg, which got its start in the year 1871 when General William H. Gibson laid out the town after the railroad had been extended to that point. Gibsonburg was incorporated as a village in 1880. For more information on upcoming bicentennial events or to make a contribution to help make this historic year a success, visit our website at bicentennial2020.org or find us on Facebook at Sandusky County Bicentennial.
In 2020, Sandusky County will be 200 years old. We're asking you to partner with us as we bring the history to life in Sandusky County. From the great heavily forested areas in the eastern part of the county to the Great Black Swamp in the west. Hear about early pioneer life, the discovery of oil that led to the oil boom, and yes, finally putting a man into space. Throughout the bicentennial year, we want to bring these stories and more to the villages, cities, and the communities of our Sandusky County.